Hello and welcome to the We Are Professionals podcast. I'm your co-host, Emma.
And I am the other co-host, Olivia.
And as the name portrays, we are professionals.
Yes, professional reviewers, professional scuba divers, professional whatever you're thinking. You know, we are professionals.
Yes, marine biologists.
Yes, definitely. We know everything.
We know everything under the sun.
Yes.
So that is what makes us qualified to do these movie reviews.
Yes, because we know everything there is to know about them, so we can identify all the false facts that there could possibly be.
Exactly. And if you didn't know, this is our second installment.
Yes, we thought one wasn't enough, so we went ahead and we are doing a second one.
Yes, we decided to grace your ear holes.
Yes.
With our beautiful voices.
Yeah. You can basically use this as ASMR, calming music to go to sleep.
Exactly. Ah! Oh, nope. Crinkle, crinkle. That's an Airhead rapper.
You're welcome.
Okay, so can you tell me about what we watched today, Olivia?
Yes, we chose to watch the new movie that came out recently. Not in theaters because we're having a wonderful time in quarantine.
Yes,
we watched the movie Scoob with an exclamation point.
Do not forget the exclamation point. I did, and I was accosted.
Yes, it's very important that you know about that exclamation point.
It's important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And can you give me a little bit about your background on Scooby-Doo? Would you say you were an avid watcher as a child?
So I used to watch it a little bit when I was little.
Yeah.
I definitely will move on to you in a minute, but I definitely didn't watch it quite as much. But I did like Scooby-Doo, and I am a huge Great Dane person.
Oh, yes, you are.
So I liked watching it from that point of view as well, because if you did not know, this is good trivia, Scooby-Doo is a Great Dane, which is probably the most important thing to learn from the entire movie, even though they don't actually say it out loud.
I would argue that he is the greatest Dane. That could be contended.
He's a Great Dane for sure, and he's probably, one of the better ones.
Yeah, he's the greatest. Anyway.
So what's your background on Scooby-Doo?
You could say as a child I was frankly obsessed.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the only thing that I watched for a while.
Yeah.
We had DVDs, we had VHSs of that.
Mm-hmm.
That dates us.
Yes.
We watched VHSs.
We're old.
We are so old.
We're old ladies.
Yeah, but I was a Scooby-Doo-aholic, I would say.
Yeah. I'm trying. Did we ever watch the live-action movies? I know I did, but did we ever watch them together?
I'm sure we did at some point. They came out so long ago.
Yeah, I remember watching them the first time and thinking they were great.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched them recently.
They're still great. Don't shut up. We'll do
okay.
We'll do it for here.
Okay.
We'll have a whole Scooby-Doo series.
Yes, we will. No, it's not. They're funny.
Yes.
The effects.
Oh, okay.
Are questionable.
They're dated.
They definitely are.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, well, that's our background on Scooby-Doo. So we started by watching the preview, right?
We did.
So you said you had thoughts afterwards.
Yeah.
What were they?
My biggest thing after watching the preview was just the major vibes that I got. I got big Hero 6 vibes.
Really?
I thought the animation and all of that looked exactly like that movie.
I think it was a bit more 3D, but but I don't know, I'm kind of thinking extra animation, but I can kind of see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. That was just my biggest takeaway was this is similar to Big Hero 6. And they had a very big technological aspect to the movie, and it was shown in the preview.
Yeah. After I watched the preview, the only thing I could think was it looked good. I was excited. obviously it's a children's movie, so,
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to be pointing out every little flaw, like, yeah, right, you know.
Yeah.
You can't actually get airlifted up in a spaceship. Whatever.
Yeah,
all of us know aliens are real, so...
Yeah, I've seen Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we decided to suspend our disbelief.
Yes. Yeah, we're just gonna go with it. But overall, my main takeaway was kind of, I hope they're not using all of the best jokes in the preview.
Yeah.
And I will say I was happily surprised. They still had some good stuff in there.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. In the preview, I will say I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
And then we got to the movie, and I just continued to laugh out loud.
Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness. It was very funny, so that was good.
Yeah.
And even for, like, you know, children's, I thought it was still good.
A children's movie, I was so surprised.
Yeah. We'll get into the Falcon, book stuff later. I'm going to write it down, because that was a little surprising.
Yeah. Oh, I actually want to write something down as well that I meant to write down earlier, but I didn't. So I'll just do it now.
Not gonna lie, this time we don't nearly have as many notes because we were kind of just enjoying the movie.
That's very true.
This was our first watch through of it, though, unlike last time.
Yeah,
And it was a good movie, unlike last time.
Yes, we had bad experiences with After. If you didn't know, listen to our first podcast.
Definitely.
Plugging it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's
just start from the beginning.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
I don't have much about that opening scene.
I liked it.
I liked it, too. I thought it was funny.
They had,
the gyro shot. Is that how you pronounce it?
Euro?
Gyro.
It was... Okay, let me think. I really liked the song choice. Made it very clear they're in California.
Yes.
It was, City of Angels. You know what? I'll put a clip of it in here so you don't have to hear me sing.
Or just leave you singing and then put a clip so they can compare. How much better you are.
You're so right. I mean, Tupac's got nothing on me.
Right.
Yes. I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny how they had the cop and Scooby chasing each other. Or, well, you know, the cop chasing Scooby and all.
I did write down a quote. The cop was reporting it on a little walkie-talkie, and he said, "We have a Grand Theft Zero."
Nice.
I
didn't catch that. Yeah, the first thing I wrote down about the beginning was I kind of loved how they introduced Shaggy and his, like, hippie all vibe. Yeah. And the first thing you see is this giant tie-dye, like, background behind him. And I was like, okay, we get the idea.
I don't know if I liked the introduction to Shaggy. Like, he was just such a sad boy. Yeah,
but honestly, as a Great Dane owner myself...
Great Danes bring happiness?
Great Danes bring happiness. So, it's not unrealistic.
Okay, I'll give you that. But it just seems like, really, this kid had no friends?
Yeah.
Nothing? Until he met this stray dog?
Yeah, that is kind of sad, but... I mean, it gives him a backstory, you know?
That's true.
Because that's what the whole movie was about, was backstory.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if this is going to be like a multi-parter.
I wonder. I don't know.
Because
it kind of didn't really end, though, on any sort of, like,
well, they have their new... Okay, let's not spoil, sorry. I really just wanted to...
Yeah, we won't spoil yet.
We'll spoil once we get to the end, but... We'll see. What's that called when you go in the order of the...
Sequential order?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I was thinking chronological, but sequential works too.
Okay.
Yes, lovely.
Yeah. So, as we were saying, Shaggy's kind of sad when we meet him, and he's listening to a podcast.
Oh, about motivation.
Yeah, about making friends. And I was like, aw, that's sad.
Yeah.
I mean... Poor Shaggy.
Like, he was so sad even Scooby was pitying him.
Yeah.
And he was a stray dog.
Yeah, the stray dog was, well, to be fair, he had a giant,
That's true.
He wasn't doing too bad for himself.
That's true. Giant Euro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he takes the dog home, saves him from the evil bike cop.
Yes. Yes.
I will say that I was kind of like put off by the amount that Scooby talks. Because, like, in the original series, he talks a little bit, and then, like, gradually he talked a little more. But this was, like, a lot. And as someone who was an avid fan as a child, I was a little like, oh.
Too much.
Yeah. Like, I can suspend my disbelief in that he would say, Scooby-Dooby-Doo at the end of every episode. But like this?
Having full-on conversations? Please, that can't be real.
Yeah, so that was something that I mentioned, but, I won't get hung up on it.
Yeah. The next thing I wrote was about, like, this whole collar, where Shaggy gives him the collar, and it's so sweet, and, and that's the collar he has, and it keeps coming back. Very so powerful. I really liked that arc of, like, the collar and what it means.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's really much more to say about it, but I liked that. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
And I guess I can agree that Scooby did talk quite a bit. He did talk quite a bit.
He really did. And, it's whatever. It happens. Sometimes you just get a Dane that talks.
Yeah, and, I like to think he's a child at this point.
Yeah.
So he has a lot more to say.
Yeah.
Like, some people are really talky as kids, and they just want to say everything all the time.
Very true.
I think that's maybe Scooby-Doo, and he mellows out a little bit more.
Ooh. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Mm-hmm.
The next time we see them, they're preparing for Halloween. They're going out trick-or-treating.
Yes.
And they have hit a couple houses. They've got their bag of candy, and they get bullied by these two kids.
Yeah, and they just steal their candy, and then they're like, and then they make fun of them for going trick-or-treating, and they're definitely the same age, if not younger.
Yeah. And I really loved that Shaggy said, hey, we worked hard for that free candy.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, they did.
You gotta, like, walk around. You gotta say please and thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I really liked that. And then, of course, their candy gets thrown into this super scary house.
Yes.
But I think what I really appreciated from that scene was that Fred, Velma, and Daphne walk up, right?
Yes.
And Fred is literally a knight in shining armor. Daphne is Wonder Woman.
Yep.
And then, Velma's like the judge,
Ruth
right?
Bader Ginsburg, RBG.
RBG.
Our main lady, RBG.
Oh, okay.
In her 5th round of chemo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's had cancer 5 times.
That's very not good.
Yeah, but we love her.
Yes.
She's amazing.
I forgot which judge she said she was, I'm not gonna lie.
Not Judge Judy.
I knew it wasn't Judy. But, like, so they come in as, like, these superheroes to save the day. And then, and then Shaggy, of course, doesn't realize that Velma's RBG.
Yes.
And he's asking what Harry Potter house she's from. And I couldn't get over the fact that Shaggy was like, I'm Slytherin. Like, that's just one of the things he says, and I'm like, I don't know if I believe that.
That's, it's
not for a minute.
No.
I don't think I believe it a minute.
No, I don't see it.
No, he's not malicious in any way. Not that all Slytherins are, but...
Yeah. That's also the thing with some of these references in this movie, is that this is aimed towards kids, but I feel like they make a lot of references that kids wouldn't necessarily know right away. Yeah,
or possibly at all.
Yeah.
Like, if I remember... I can't think of any off the top of my head. Maybe we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, I have one coming up.
Yeah, okay. But there are some I remember being like, I don't know if kids would recognize that. But, I also know I probably missed a bunch of stuff when I was a kid, too, so...
That's very true. And, yeah. So, basically, Knight in Shining Armor and the whole gang go into the house. They get the candy, but they find a ghost.
Yes. And then it's like their first mystery.
Yes, it's the first mystery, and we have this gang come together, solve it. It's just a guy with a mask.
Yep. Crazy.
Who would have thought? The original unmasking.
It was crazy.
And he had stolen a bunch of televisions or something?
Yeah, it was a bunch of, like, technology equipment from hardware
a hardware store.
He went to a hardware store to steal TVs like any genius. No. No, but a bunch of stuff from, like, a tech store. Like, he went to, like, Apple and stole as much as he could.
Yeah, which I don't believe you can easily steal from, like, an Apple type store.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he just took one thing at a time, one cell phone in the pocket one day, and then went back. Like, and
some big TVs in there, though. I was like, really? You just stole that giant television?
I don't know. Maybe security isn't what we think it is.
That's true. I don't
know about you, but I've never tried to steal a TV myself.
That's true.
Or anything in general, other than from Emma. I've stolen something from you before.
What?
Yeah.
What'd you steal?
I told you about this. It's the Polly Pocket that I really wanted when we were little. And it had the Cinderella dress, and I really wanted it.
Oh my god, I remember that now. The Cinderella dress?
Polly Pocket? And I was like, Emma, you're not going to use it. Can I have it? And you were like, no. And then I took it.
Do you have it still?
No, I don't think so. I think all my Polly Pockets are gone. So I think my mom threw them away.
So what you're telling me is that you stole my Polly Pocket and then you threw her out.
No, I didn't. Amy did.
Okay, whatever.
We hit a rough patch, okay?
Okay, and then we have the original unmasking, and then we have an amazing montage that paid homage to the original title sequence.
Yes. Was it the exact same? Because I thought there were moments that were, like, Fred doesn't normally sit outside the mystery machine, like, in the homage seat, right?
Yeah.
And be like, I love you, mystery machine.
Yeah, there were definitely some parts that were added, but the similarities and they paralleled each other, like, almost perfectly.
Yeah. I really liked that, like, the running noises that you hear, like, that bonk, bonk, bonk.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it, but I love that they kept those and stuff, like, when you see Shaggy and Scooby running away, like, out of the vases and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I liked that.
It was so good. I don't know what I expected from this, like, new version of Scooby-Doo, but the amount that they paid, like, homage to the original, like,
material.
Like the original material and even the original people. Like, the Takamoto bowling shop. Takamoto is the last name of the guy who, like, created Scooby-Doo.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah. I was very impressed by the way it did that. Mm-hmm. And, I really like that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And then, so, after the sequence.
Yeah, our little montage.
Yeah, they solved their first mystery. Their montage. Oh, the next thing I have written down is this funny thing. And they're in the mystery machine and they're talking, I think they're in the mystery machine and they're talking about how they need to get a new one. Yeah. And Fred says something along the lines of, we're never going to get rid of that smell. And then Scooby says, I told you I needed a watch. That was killed me.
That was like, so good.
That was a great line. Really enjoyed it. And then he said something after that, too, that was pretty funny. But, I just wanted to point out that was a really good line.
That was a good line. And they had so many lines like that that were just like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it reminds you, he's a dog.
Yeah, he is a dog.
He's the greatest Dane.
Great Dane.
We're still hung up on it. And then, okay, this is another thing that I don't think kids would understand. Simon Cowell comes in. Okay. Do kids know who that is?
He's on America's Got Talent right now. So he's kind of still a fan. It's not just an American Idol thing. He's still kind of big.
But who watches America's Got Talent?
That's a great question, because I don't. But, I don't know, like, Sofia Vergara recently went on there and is, like, one of the new judges. I know more about who's judging at any given time than anything, but, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe kids like America's Got Talent a lot?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought that was, like, I thought it was really fun, but then I realized, like, do these children know who this is? Like, do they get any of this?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, knowing who Simon Cowell is isn't that big of a deal. Like, as story-wise. Like, it's not that big of a deal that they understood who he was.
Yeah.
Simon Cowell's obviously a humongous deal.
Yes. To anyone that, you know... I mean, he founded One Direction, the greatest boy band of all time.
Or, as Fred pointed out, Kelly Clarkson.
True.
Love Kelly.
I do love when Simon Cowell came in and Scooby and Shaggy started singing Shallows.
Yes. That's another thing. Like, are kids gonna know the song Shallow? From a rated R movie.
You're so right.
I mean, they
did have a radio edition.
Yeah, so maybe. And I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a good movie. A Star is Born, the most recent one with Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper. Watch it.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain that they chose the song. But
oh, no. It was a great song.
It just seemed really random.
Yeah, and, you know, but Shaggy and Scooby really killed it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, not as much as you killed Tupac, but, like, pretty close.
I did not kill Tupac.
No. Oh, you were singing Tupac earlier, remember?
I know. I just needed to make it clear that was not me.
We don't want this to be an evidence at a trial.
Maybe I'll bleep it out.
Yeah, bleep it out. Good idea. Don't want anyone to get confused.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, but so the Lady Gaga rendition and the Simon Cowell as their potential investor in their organization just seemed really odd and random, but I'm, like, not mad at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like though, if they were going to do something, I feel like Elon Musk would have been a good choice. You know?
I mean, I feel like maybe they wanted someone that would come in and voice the person. So, like, they actually got Simon Cowell to voice himself.
And I guess his voice would be more recognizable than Elon.
That's very true.
But I'm just saying, like, as an investment opportunity, or, like, one of the sharks from Shark Tank or something.
Oh. Wait, yeah. Like...
what's his name? The popular
Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Zuckerberg.
No.
Cuban. Mark Cuban.
Yes. I feel like that would have been a good one, too. But we also wouldn't have got Shaggy and Scooby singing.
True.
So, risk, roar, it's worth it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, but basically at their little meeting with Simon Cowell, their potential investor, he said, Fred, Velma, Daphne, you're vital to this organization, but I'm not going to invest in you guys until you get rid of Shaggy and Scooby.
Which is so sad.
Super sad. What's wrong with you, Simon Cowell?
Yeah, they're obviously super important to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, obviously that kind of just leads to Shaggy and Scooby, and they're sad, and they leave. And I was a little offended that the other three didn't get up and go after them immediately.
That's very true.
They just kind of sat there and let them leave.
They really did.
Like, that's not cool.
Frankly, rude.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if I was told I was useless and then just got up and was like, that hurt my feelings, and then no one did anything about it, they were just like, yeah, you are, leave. I mean, that would be very hurtful.
Yeah, that's very true. But then we wouldn't have gotten to the next part where they're...
Yeah, it's a setup for the movie, I get it, but we're trying to teach kids to be nice, right?
You're right. They learn at the end.
Yeah.
You know,
friendship.
Friendship is above everything else.
Yes. It's a good lesson.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Next time we see our two heroes, they're at the bowling alley.
Yes, the Takamoto.
Yes, the Takamoto bowling alley. And they are the only ones there, except for the person that works there.
I'm not gonna lie, even for an animated movie, really? Like...
Who knows? It could have been, like, just a random Monday night.
I guess, but I don't know.
They also live in California, so maybe people prefer to spend time outdoors.
Maybe. I don't know. We're from Indiana, so...
Yeah, California who?
Who's that? That's way away.
California.
Huh?
I think they filmed Zoe 101 there.
A reason to go.
Are you ready?
And I've heard Disneyland is there too, so.
Which, yeah, who even knows, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mystery.
Yeah, I think that California IA is about to break off or something.
Oh, I don't know, maybe. They have that big crack through the middle of it.
Yeah. The desert.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's not what it's called. Geography.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to school.
I've been to school.
Yeah, we're college students. All right. Moving on.
Yes, and so
they're at the bowling alley.
Bowling alley. We're setting the scene at the bowling alley again.
Yeah. Oh, also, Scooby is wearing 3 bowling shoes.
Oh, yes.
I feel like that is important to say.
Yeah, important. Let's move on.
Yeah.
It was mentioned, and
it's enough. That's all that needs said.
Yeah. That's one for you to think on. And then some suspicious things start happening with the bowling pins.
Yeah, like, it starts with what? Scooby sees eyes in the bowling pin.
Yes.
And then
the balls won't come back.
Yeah. And so they smartly stick their face right
inside of it.
Yeah, where the ball's supposed to come. And then it finally comes, and then is that when it turns into the evil robot?
Let's say so,
Yeah, I think that's about, and then it turns into an evil robot.
Yeah.
And there's this scene, they're running around the bowling alley, getting chased. There's a minute where it all stops because they pretend they're waiters.
Yes, which was very traditional Scooby-Doo, and I loved it.
Yes.
I had a smile ear to ear. I was like, this is perfect.
Yes.
And then he says, oh, shoot, we're out of calamari. And so it went back to the crazy running around montage.
Yes. I really liked that little stop. It did seem very, traditional, and I liked that, too.
Yeah.
It was really cute. And then after that, they just get swept away by the blue beam. Like, they keep running and then eventually get swept away. Is there anything important in between?
Not really. They end up, they get cornered and then saved.
Yeah. And then, honestly, one of my favorite jokes from the movie is when it's in the preview even, but it's so funny. They get, swept up into this area, and Shaggy's like, oh my gosh, it's brand new, it's clean aesthetic, it's blue, we must be at, and Scooby says, IKEA! And I'm like, oh my goodness, yes.
I love IKEA.
We do love IKEA.
Another thing that kids would just be like, what?
Yeah,
IKEA.
maybe. I didn't know what IKEA was till I was in 6th grade, so.
And it's, not something that's on a kid's radar.
Yeah.
Another interesting joke.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it was one of my favorites.
That's true.
And honestly, maybe this movie wasn't even really made for kids. They kept it PG for the kids, but, it was made for people who watch Scooby-Doo and, were older.
Honestly, I could really see that, because it pays so much respect to its predecessors, and I'll say plural predecessors. There's been so many Scooby-Doos before it.
Mm-hmm.
And it plays so much homage to that, and it has all of these jokes that, maybe a kid wouldn't understand, but we think are hilarious.
Yes.
So, yeah. Maybe. Interesting theory. I like that.
Yeah, and then, so they get up there, and it's this, Blue Falcon dude that we learn that Shaggy, earlier in the movie, is a huge fan of. And that's what they went it as, actually, for the first Halloween, was the
Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt.
It's not Dino Dog.
I'm pretty sure it's Dino Mutt.
Okay, I will go with you. Because I don't know. I wrote down, Blue Falcon, Black Falcon, Red Falcon, Falcon Fury. I had no idea what this dude's name was, so...
I really just got hung up on the fact that he looks like Batman.
I did, too. I was like, this guy looks like Batman. And that was all I could think.
Yeah.
And I was like...
When I first saw the, picture for the movie...
Yeah.
I was like, why is... I didn't realize Batman was in this. And,
is this Lego Batman, but different?
Oh. And, Scooby-Doo's done crossover episodes with Batman before, and so I was like, oh, is this just, a continuation?
Oh, it's the origin story of how Batman got there.
Yeah, but that was interesting. Still like it though.
Yeah. And then is that when it goes back to the other three?
Oh.
No. We still have more with the Falcon. He sings.
Yeah, he has his whole opening number.
Yeah, his opening number. And then, and Shaggy and Scooby are confused.
Yeah.
And they don't know what's going on.
And then they get lit in on it a little bit.
Yeah. There's like this villain after Scooby, I guess.
I don't know if we learn about the villain there or if we learn about it with the rest of them.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I did write something down. So what's going on between Scooby and Shaggy is they can't believe they're meeting the Blue Falcon, and they start pinching each other.
Oh, yes. That was funny.
Repeatedly back and forth.
Yes.
And it's hilarious. And then after that, the next thing I have... And then I think they do learn that the villain wants... Or, no.
They don't know why they want them, but...
They know that the villain is after Scooby and Shaggy, but they don't know why.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, shortly after, it cuts to the rest of the gang who abandoned them, and then is listening to a police scanner and hears the code that there is an emergency at the bowling alley as tiny flying robots are chasing a dog and his companion.
Yes.
And so they go to the bowling alley and they get some clues, and they also figure out very quickly that it's the same bad guy, and his name is Dick Dastardly.
And when there was
Can you say that for me?
Oh, God. Dick Dastardly?
Oh, my God! That is not his name!
Dang it. Dick Dastardly.
There we go. Oh, my God.
I thought it was a G. It was not.
He's not gassy. He's dastardly.
Yeah. It was a very strange name.
It really was.
And we can talk about it more when we get there, but the whole scene with Rick? Dick. Rick? Dick. So anyway.
Yes.
So the team's trying to figure out where Shaggy and Scooby are.
Uh-huh.
And Shaggy and Scooby are still just chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, they're on the ship with the Falcon, Dynamut, and I did not catch that girl's name. I have no clue.
Yeah, I have no clue. But she
very
was
smart, though.
Yeah, I mean, she was like the cool one. She was the one who knew what she was doing.
I feel like she is a big enough part of this movie. I should know her name, so I'm just going to look it up real quick.
Okay, good idea. Good idea.
Dee Sykes.
Okay, Dee Sykes. Okay, good to know.
I would have never guessed that. I don't know if I heard her name the whole movie.
Yeah. So they're up there and they're trying to find like one of these
skulls.
Yes, skulls.
Yeah.
So that's what they're up to.
Yeah.
And then the rest.
Yeah, there are 3 skulls with like some sort of supernatural power inside of them, and they are trying to beat Dick Dastardly to getting them all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then also, I think we cut it a bit too quickly. The team, once they figure out they figure out who Dick Dastardly is, and they immediately start to go after him in his hiding place.
Yeah, they're on the way to one of his hiding places.
Yeah. And so then it cuts back to them, I think. And that's when one of my other favorite lines is that Velma and Fred are talking about the metric system.
Oh, yes.
And Fred's like, I'm going to take a shortcut. And Velma's like, this isn't a shortcut. This is 76 meters longer than the other way. And Fred's like, what's meters? Like, how fast or something? I'm confused. And then and then they start talking about the Blue Falcon. They learn that he's with the Blue Falcon. Shaggy and Scooby are. And then you get the line from Velma, how do you know so much about superheroes and so little about the metric system? And then Fred says, I'm an American man.
Yeah, that was good.
I was like, oh yeah,
yes,
what a good line.
And at one point we also cut to Dick Dastardly and his interaction with the minions. Well, they're not the minions. Like you think of like the yellow ones, but in my mind they're like these are his little minions.
Yeah, they look like
They look very cute.
Yeah, they're like little robots.
Yeah.
And they have like cat ear-like things.
Yeah.
And very circle faces.
They look very cute, but then they bring out their chainsaws and then they're deadly.
Yeah, and then they're a little scary.
Yeah. But he gets really mad at this specific one and throws away his head and
replaces it with a vacuum.
Yes, a
like,
little handheld vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which is very important later on.
Yes, it's actually important we bring this up. So.
You may think that this is a weird small detail, but it is important.
Yeah, we're keeping it in. It's not getting cut out. All right.
Much like all of your parts. What if I did that to you?
Then it'd be a really weird podcast. You'd just be talking and replying to nothing.
Nothing.
And, like, it wouldn't be succinct or make any sense. Unless you completely went back over my parts and acted like you were talking to yourself.
Ooh, maybe. Or what if I just cut together, like, 5 minutes that sounds somewhat coherent and I just tell the entire story?
Well, that would be kind of boring, wouldn't it? People are like, we're tuning out. This is dumb. All right.
Yes, and then I think we're next on the ship with the Blue Falcon, Dynamite, all them again.
Yes.
And they figure out... Oh, they're trying to figure out where the next skull is.
Yeah, and that's when they get to the amusement park.
Yes, that's when they go to Romania based off of...
anonymous tip.
Yes, an anonymous tip that Blue Falcon got as a DM.
I feel like this is a good point to mention. Blue Falcon isn't the original Blue Falcon.
Not original.
He is the new Blue Falcon, the son of the original Blue Falcon, and his name is Brian.
His name is Brian. He's mostly referred to as Brian.
Yeah, not the Blue Falcon. So I think from here on out, let's call him Brian.
Yeah. Well, be Ryan.
Yeah, be Ryan.
Brian.
Yeah, because he has a big brain.
Yep. He's big brain energy.
Yeah. So, even though the lady that I've already forgotten her name...
Dee Dee Sykes
is like, this seems like a bad idea to go to Romania where there was like 2 places they could have gone.
Yes.
But Brian insists that they follow the anonymous tip.
Yes, big brain Brian.
Yes. So they end up at this amusement park.
Yes, in Romania.
Yeah, which was actually one of my favorite parts.
Oh, really?
I enjoyed this part. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And so they're in Romania, and immediately Dick Dastardly is there.
Yes.
And it's big problem, right?
Yes.
So they start this huge fight scene.
Yes. And, well, I think it's important to note before Dick Dastardly even gets there, Shaggy and Scooby get into a fight.
They do?
Oh, fudge. No, that's not right.
No.
You're cutting it out. Cut it out.
They're not in a fight.
They're in a fight later. I forgot.
Yes. So they're there, and I think it's almost immediately, they get there, they're like, this place is creepy, and then Dick Dastardly comes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So they're there, they're chilling. Well, not really.
They're scared.
They're terrified for their lives. And then basically this intense, like, not intense, but like this scene of them running away from these scary but not scary robot creatures we mentioned.
Yes.
And then that's when we get the scene that I loved most, where there's Scooby and he runs into this like hall of mirrors.
Yeah.
And then he's sitting in there, and then he sees Dick Dastardly, and then we learn that Dick Dastardly really only wants Scooby, not Shaggy, because he's a descendant of Alexander the Great's dog.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't need to go into that anymore, really.
Yeah. They have this whole thing about it, but yeah.
It's a little confusing.
All you need to know.
Yeah. So basically, he's a descendant of him, and then we get this whole part, because, obviously at the beginning we talk about, like, Shaggy, and he's like, Raggy. And it's Shaggy. Raggy.
Yes.
Shaggy. Raggy. And then we get this new part where it's Dick.
Rick.
Dick. Rick. And they do this for like, I think 30 seconds at least.
It's like a long gag.
Yeah. It's a little awkward, but funny. And I'm like, all right. Cool. Yeah, and then we see Brian hiding. Mm-hmm. And then Shaggy, being Shaggy, just somehow gets thrown up into this place where Brian is hiding in a Ferris wheel.
Very coincidental.
Yeah, and then a lot of little shenanigans happen, and they barely get out.
Yes. Dastardly gets away with Scooby? No, not that time.
No.
Did he win it all? Did he get anything?
No, what happened was he, fell out of that bumper car.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Because they were in bumper cars. But, like I said, it's just a lot of shenanigans. No reason to really go into it.
Yeah.
But anyways, they get away. And then they go to this island.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but first,
we
have to cut back to the gang. And because the gang had one of the destroyed minions that was at the bowling alley,
mm-hmm.
it put itself back together, and Dick Dastardly basically found out where they were. And so he comes, pretends to be a cop.
A really hot cop in Fred's opinion.
Yes. And he basically takes them to some lair.
His ship. It's the ship we see throughout
it's just the ship? Okay.
Yeah. And may I say, that ship gives me extreme Guardians of the Galaxy vibes.
Oh.
And I will move back into this in a minute. But,
yeah I could definitely see that.
It definitely gave me those vibes, from the second movie especially.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'll cut back to that in a second.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
I just get into it. You want to talk about it?
No, I saw something else I wrote down that I'm crying.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. Let's just do that part right now.
Okay, was it when they got captured that he said, "No, this is a different."
It was later. It's later.
Okay,
well, I'll set it up for you.
Set it up for me.
Okay, so basically, the minion that has the handheld vacuum. Or the handheld vacuum head keeps sneezing, and Daphne's basically like, "Here, I'll help you out. I'm such a great, nice person." And she empties the vacuum, puts him back together, and is like, "Can you help us out?" And he's like, "Of course, I'm so grateful to you." So he helps him out of there, and they start wandering the ship. And they're
Pause for a second.
Yeah.
That scene right there reminded me so much of when Yondu and Rocket were trapped in Guardians 2. And the group comes and is like, "How can I help you?" And he keeps bringing all the wrong stuff back. It is one of my favorite scenes. I don't know if you have even seen the movie. You should. Hurtful. Anyway.
Right over the head.
To people who have seen it, it gave me extreme vibes like that. It was super cute.
Anyway, they start wandering the ship. They're able to get a telecommunication to
Dino Bone.
Yeah.
Dino Mutt.
Yes, they're able to get a communication through Dino Mutt to Shaggy, Scooby, Blue Falcon, all of them.
Yeah.
And basically that gets cut dead, and they end up wandering the ship a little bit more, and they kind of find, I don't know, it's like Dick Dastardly's main room.
Yeah, where his plan is.
Yeah, he's got his plans in there.
Like a cop with all of the,
Yes.
No one can see our hands.
It's a very
and they have those push pins with the string, and then the push pin. And
it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Pepe Silvio episode with Charlie and his conspiracies. If you've seen It's Always Sunny, you know what I'm talking about.
If not, then just imagine a bulletin board with a bunch of string, pictures, and push pins. Just Google cop No, never mind. Don't do that. All right. Anyway.
Who knows what's going to come up.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. Don't do it. All right.
If we put this on YouTube, we'll have a picture in there.
Sure. That way you guys don't have to imagine our hand movements.
Maybe we'll do a mime thing where we actually put our hand movements in there. Yep.
That's worth the editing.
Right now we're doing YMCA. Okay.
Anyways.
So they see that. They figure out his plan. Basically open a portal to the underworld.
And let out,
just to get money, I think.
Well, no, it's to get his dog that went in there.
Muttley.
Yes. Who originally, he sent in there to get the money. But now, Muttley's stuck in the underworld.
Yes.
So he has to get her back.
And he's got, a whole shrine to Muttley. He gets into this backstory. And then he's like, "Minions, take these people out of here, except for
Mr. Hemsworth here." and then
he says, Poor man's Hemsworth.
Oh, poor man's Hemsworth.
Yes.
Yes. And then Fred goes, Chris or Liam? I feel like we should talk about this for a second.
Yeah. Which one is better? Oh, I was going to ask you that. I know. You're going to say Chris.
I am going to say
Thor.
Chris. Because he's Thor, and he's just, don't get me wrong. I am no Hemsworth myself. Alright, but Chris is in a, stable relationship, has kids, is super hot, is Thor, and I think his acting career is a bit more profound than Liam's. In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just saying.
To be honest, the only thing I know that Liam Hemsworth is in is The Hunger Games and The Last Song. So
yeah, and to be fair, I like The Last Song.
Great movie.
Great movie. Wonderful movie. That's all there is to say.
We'll watch that next.
Yes. But to be fair, he's Gale in The Hunger Games, and
we don't like him.
Yeah. We're PETA all the way. Josh Hutcherson, I love you.
Yes.
Not as much as Tom Holland, but I still love you.
Okay. And she just winked. You missed it because it's not a camera show. But there was a wink there at the computer like we were being filmed.
I can see my voice waves. It's enough.
Your voice is just waving back at you after the wink. Yes, and so, poor man's Hemsworth. I would say that, I don't know, I think that Liam's cuter just because I think Chris Hemsworth, he is a dad. He's in a stable relationship. And it just reminds me of a dad. And I don't think dads are attractive.
So you think people who are attracted to Miley Cyrus during her phase are attractive?
Yes. Miley Cyrus can not be tamed however she'd like.
To be fair, I like Miley Cyrus.
Oh yeah, always have.
Yeah, I've pretty much always liked her too. Sometimes I've disagreed with a decision or two, but you do you.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I think she's still one of our best singers.
Oh really? Our?
Yeah,
America?
When
Our
I was
generation?
little. Yeah, when I was little. She's older than us, obviously, but grew up watching Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Stick it, glide, zigzag, cross the floor, shuffle in diagonal, in the drum, hits hands on your hips, 1 foot in 180 twist.
I was a Tana stan.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten way
Tana Mojo.
Oh God, we are not Tana Mojo stans.
Okay, anyways.
We are really off topic.
Whatever movie we're watching. Poor man's Hemsworth was the last thing I wrote before I said, do kids know Simon Cowell?
Nice. I have a bit more.
Okay.
So anyway, let's just continue on. So we find out, that Fred's a poor man's Hemsworth. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then we get back to this kind of sad part of the story.
Yeah.
So they're saying that Shaggy, once again, is unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. And by them, I mean Brian and...
Scooby didn't outright say it, but
what's the girl's name?
Dee Dee Sykes.
Dee Dee Sykes and Dynamite are kind of all saying Shaggy's not important.
Yeah.
And he's not worth being a superhero like Scooby is.
Yeah, they really emphasize how important Scooby is and don't also value what Shaggy has to input.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing we get from that, in my opinion, is you see this scene and Scooby's getting on, lasered on, Iron Man style, a super suit, right?
Yeah.
But in order to do it, he has to take off the collar.
The collar.
The collar. I will point out one thing.
Collar.
I feel like I have to say one thing.
Yes.
I feel like it would have been more accurate had they just done the name tag itself, because no Great Dane would still fit in the same collar that they fit in when they were a puppy.
That's true.
Just saying, I have Great Danes, and Shaggy's 10 years old, which is awesome for a Great Dane. Or, sorry, Scooby.
Shaggy's only 10.
Shaggy's only 10. No. But Scooby is 10, which is great for a Great Dane.
Yes.
So Shaggy's been doing a good job, taking good care of him, but he might need a new color. It might be a little tight. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Yeah, he has a real thick neck.
Yeah, all Danes do. Well, anyways.
Yes.
So you see this sad scene, and then obviously So Scooby doesn't even take it off.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
The robot ripped it off.
Yeah, the robot kind of just took it off for him.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, that makes Shaggy upset.
Yes.
And so we see that Shaggy and Scooby start to get a little tension between them. And it's mostly Shaggy towards Scooby.
Yeah.
And then that's whenever we get to the island where they're looking for the next skull.
Yes, yeah. You
want to talk about this next part?
I would love to talk about this next part. So they get to this island, you know, Shaggy's not being the most supportive friend, and basically just jealous of Scooby and his importance in this specific case. And so Brian and Dee Dee Sykes and Dino Mutt are going into the island in search of the skull, and Shaggy is standing at the top of the, what's it called? Spaceship? Yeah, ship. With Scooby, and he's like, yeah, we're just gonna sit this one out. And Scooby's like, no, like, this is about me, I want to go. And Shaggy's like, it's usually our thing that we just stay back. And basically, they have a little fight. Scooby leaves, Shaggy stays.
And it's their first fight, so it's like a big deal.
First fight ever.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're friends with someone for 10 years and you've never had a fight, that's crazy.
That is really crazy.
Brian and Scooby go off in search of the skull using Scooby's sniffer.
Yeah.
And then Dee Dee Sykes and Dino Mutt are kind of like doing their own thing.
We don't know what they're doing, honestly.
Yeah.
They end up finding them. So basically, I'm just trying to cut it short because we're running a little long now.
Yeah.
But, like, to put long story short in this situation, they find this thing. They find the skull, but they have to fight someone off to get the skull.
Yeah.
And while they're
Who's
fighting...
voiced by Tracy Morgan, and I think is really funny.
Nice. Didn't catch it, but...
Yes.
I like it. So anyway, and then they basically fight. That's when Dee Dee Sykes and Dino Mutt come back.
Yeah.
And they help. And during this time, Fred comes. And to be fair, Shaggy does not know that he's been captured.
Yes.
So it's a fake Fred. And he's tricking Shaggy to take him to Scooby.
Yeah.
And so this basically leads to, and it's Dick Dastly, obviously, who is Fred. And he ends up taking Scooby and takes him all the way to the portal to the underworld, basically, in Athens, and opens it up. Yeah, opens up the portal to the underworld, and it's really grand, and, like, it makes the ruins not ruins anymore, and it's really cool looking. Yeah, that was one of the things I wrote down. I was like, that was a really cool effect, and I think they were in Athens. I don't know if I said that already. Yeah. But that was a very cool scene, where you got to see it all turn from, like, this, like, dead wasteland, or not wasteland, but, you know. Yeah. Yeah, and then it turns into this, like, beautiful, amazing Greek architecture. Yeah. So that was really cool. And then, basically, you know, they go... Open it up, and we see a 3-headed dog. Yeah, it had a name. It started with an S. Oh, Sacagawea. No. Sasquatch. Sure. Yep, it's Sasquatch. Not. So the Sasquatch. Oh, God, I mean to say it. So the anyway, so the S started attacking. The S dog. He gets out, and he starts attacking, right? Yes. Yeah, and then Scooby sees his friends fly in, because Shaggy encouraged them all to go and find Scooby-Doo. Yes. And so, they're all there. They're fighting. You know, they're fighting the dog. Exactly. And then that's when we finally see Brian step up. Yes. Yeah, so he goes from, we forgot to talk about it. Oh, the books. So his dad's motto was no falcon around. Oh, yeah. And then his motto was, Brian's motto is always falcon around. And first of all, how is that in a children's movie? I don't know. So clever, though. Very clever. Very funny. Very clever, if not a little on the nose. Yeah. Which I think the whole movie is a little bit, but... Yeah. So I thought that was funny. So he turns from that Brian in this moment of seeing Shaggy and Scooby fight for their lives, where they randomly get Greek costumes. Which,
Oh, yeah!
to be fair, I still think that's very Scooby-Doo. Them
Yes.
getting random costumes on and running around in a chariot that they somehow got.
That was definitely in a What's New Scooby-Doo episode at one point. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just funny and it's random, but I'm glad they did it. And
also,
then,
I will say it's more Roman than Greek. I was thinking Roman Colosseum and not Greek. So, whatever.
So we hate the movie now. All right.
I watched Percy Jackson.
Really?
Oh, well, I read the books.
Good. That's the good one. I've watched the 2 movies, and they're pretty okay.
They're like...
If you think the Percy Jackson movies are good, and it's not because Logan Lerman's in them, problem. Anyway.
I think it's Lerman.
What? It's not?
Logan Lerman.
No, it's not.
Lerman.
It's China, Emma. It's China. No one else gets to understand that. It's fine.
No, that's between us.
We'll leave it between us. All right. So, they're fighting. Brian finally gets his wings, literally.
Yes, literally he remembers that his suit actually has wings.
Yes. He did not know that, even though he is the Falcon.
The Blue Falcon. How dare you just call him the Falcon?
Oh, you're right. That is wrong. The Blue Falcon.
Exactly. There we go.
The correct way of saying it. He gets his wings, literally, and basically they defeat the S-Dog.
Yeah. The 3-headed S-Dog gets sent back into the underworld, and they close the doors, but they won't stay locked.
Yes. So something tragic has to happen.
Yes, they have... 2 best friends have to close the door. And since Scooby is the descendant
that's the word, descendant.
Of Alexander the Great's dog, he has to be one of them to close the door. And since him and Shaggy are best friends, they have to close the door together, but one of them has to be on the inside.
Yes. So, it's very sad.
Yes, they have this whole scene where they're, like, fighting each other and, like, slapping this thing, and then Scooby slaps Shaggy, and they fight over who gets put in there, and eventually...
Shaggy takes the bullet, he goes in, and they lock the door. And it's very sad, it's very emotional. I can't say I cried.
Scooby had a howl, and I was really close. But then, that lasted, like, 20 seconds.
It didn't last long enough for you to be able to cry, in my opinion. But it was still, you definitely felt it.
I felt it in my heart and my bladder, because I had to pee.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Not surprising.
Yep.
And then, we see Alexander the Great and his dog and a statue appear.
Yes, just right out of the ground.
Yes. And then, Scooby just goes up to it and says, best friend? Like, Shaggy? You coming, or Raggy? You coming back?
Raggy, come home?
Raggy, come home?
Yeah.
And then Raggy comes home.
Raggy comes home.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. I think there's cheering.
Yeah, they're super excited. Everyone gives a hug.
Yes.
And that's kind of like...
Oh, we missed the whole part where, like, when Dick Dastardly opens the door, he finds this dog. And it's a pretty emotional scene. Like, he thinks the dog is dead at first. And it's pretty sad. But then the dog is alive and was just fooling him. And they take a bunch of gold and leave.
Yeah, and that's actually all we really see them. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah, because his own minions that turned on him come back, take him, and... Oh, shoot, I already forget the dog's name.
Muttley.
Muttley. Bring him and Muttley back, and...
And then they rip off the face mask, because it's not really Dick Dastardly. It's...
Dick Dastardly?
Dick Dastardly. I don't know what I said. It's not really him. It's Simon Cowell! Oh my gosh! The biggest
coming!
Nobody. Literally nobody. And then that's where Velma ruins it all and takes off a second face mask.
Yeah, because Simon Cowell wouldn't have time to judge America's Got Talent and be a secret mastermind.
Yeah. So it's really just Dick Dastardly.
Yes, with the 2 masks.
Yes. And then, we kind of just close out on, the team. They go back. They open Mystery Machine Inc.
Yeah, because they get Simon Cowell's investment.
Yeah, because, Shaggy and Scooby are an important part of the team. And more than just getting lunch, as they said earlier.
Exactly. They're best friends, and they are the heart of
the
Mystery Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
And then, so that's kind of... We missed so much, but we've also been talking so long.
Yes. We really skipped over a lot, but I think...
Fred's whole arc with the Mystery Machine.
Oh,
we skipped over Dusty a little,
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk enough about the Minions, but they turned out to be good guys.
Yeah. So, don't be looking for a part 2, because I feel like... that might be a little much.
We've exhausted this topic.
Yeah, but let's just go to our overall review.
Overall review.
How many Scooby snacks are we giving this out of 10?
Ooh, love that. I'm going to give this... I want to say maybe 8.5 out of 10 Scooby snacks. Because...
Really?
It completely shattered my expectations. I thought this was just going to be another, Scooby-Doo remake where it's, real crappy and not... not like the original, but they paid so much homage to the original, and it was actually funny.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10 Scooby snacks because of the way it just, shattered my expectations.
Yeah. I think I would give it something kind of similar. I would say, I'm trying to think of it overall, as a children's movie and everything. I think I'd probably give it around a 7 to 8 out of 10 Scooby snacks. Because once again, I like that they did pay tribute to the original Scooby-Doo. I also think it helped that instead of just having them go on a random mystery, like in some of the live-action remakes and stuff, it was actually meant to be a prequel. It was supposed to set it up. It was supposed to be how their origin story got to it. And, where the movie ends is kind of where you would see the mystery. Mystery, or Incorporate. Yeah.
Kind of set forth.
Yeah. So I think that was really good, and I liked it. I thought it was funny. I will say it's very predictable in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But once again, it's a kid's movie. You can't really fault it too much.
Yeah.
So it's not like they can't be entirely original. Haha, we killed the main character. No, can't really do that.
No.
So you can't really play with anything like that.
That's very true. And I do think I'm very biased because of the way that I just I have such a strong history with Scooby-Doo and I love it so much.
But that would make you someone highly critical of it as well.
That's true. Because
had it been crap...
I would let you know. I would let you know if I thought it was really shit.
Yeah, you'd be like, that was horrible.
Downright disgusted.
I can't believe Zac Efron was a part of something like this.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Zac Efron played Fred.
Yes, I meant to mention that a long time ago.
Wow. There's so many other better things in this that...
Yeah, there's so much.
There's so much. A lot to tackle.
Yeah.
And I think we killed it in a little over an hour.
Yeah, just a little. But, yeah, so overall, we both liked the movie.
Liked it.
Thought it was pretty good.
I would say I loved it.
I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, I'll watch it again. Not right now.
Yeah, no.
It's my bedtime.
Yeah. But definitely watch again, and, yeah. So, join us again.
Yeah.
For our next podcast.
On the We're Professionals podcast.
Yeah. Where we will be professionally evaluating more things.
Yeah, as professionals who profess in a professional setting.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you for listening.
And we'll catch you on the flip side of the podcast world. Okay, love, bye!